Welcome everybody to the Jim Hickey podcast, the A to Z of success in the ring. This week, Jim, we're going to talk about your inner warrior energy. So that's about, I suppose, when you're competing, it's about bringing that inner warrior, that strength, that belief, that confidence. But what's special about that warrior energy, or that analogy, or that metaphor that
Yeah,
really hits home with people?
I'd love to explain to everybody. First of all, you're all welcome. And as riders, you'll understand what I'm saying because there's a time when you need to get in there and you need to fight for it. And this has to be a practice you have to work on. And we have an inner energy, we female energy and male energy, and we all have it. And you have to balance the two when you need it, and you bring on in more and more male, and female energy, and vice versa. So as you produce your horse, you're nurturing the horse. That's female energy. You're just bringing and you're challenging and you're softly nurturing, nourishing that your animal to get it, rideable and balanced and connected. And there's a load of trust and patience and connection, and a little bit every day to improve and to give and take and to soften, and that's all production, and it's part of the producing your animal for the ring. And that's that's a big process. And then when you get to show, then it's so important you have that mindset that when you get to that ring, then you actually have to step up the level. You have to actually step into a masculine energy and ride your numbers, ride your distances. Sometimes you fight for your distances, fight to commit to distances, and that's a separate energy to the nurturing energy. This is a quick, it's an attention to detail. It's fast, and you have to react quickly. You have to be quick to look and look for the next fence and move up and make a decision. And animals need this. Your horses need this because you have a course builder that's there, and he or she is challenging you to on angles and numbers and distances and colors, and there's so much going on in there. So you have to bring this internal warrior to it. You have to be looking, even if it's a small class, you still have to get the numbers, you still have to move up, you still have to wait, you still have to land and go. And you have to create this flipping the switch that I'm going to get this. I'm turning it on, because if you bring the relaxed female energy to it, the lovely nurturing and having the horse, your animal relaxed underneath you and in front of your leg, and if you don't have then that super focus, that attention to detail, that kind of internal warrior that you need, you're going to get caught in between. You won't be, you'll be half in and half out. You need to be, you're either on or you're off, and you have to be on in that ring. And when that buzzer goes, you have to be focused on that, flipping that switch to get up in that canter, up in that rhythm, up on that pace. Some people, riders, call it the jump off pace for the first fence, because in the production you're slow and you're getting the animal connected and balanced and underneath you and supple and relaxed, and trying to get them equally supple to the right and left. There's a massive amount of nourishing, and then when you get into that ring, you have to have that internal warrior that you're getting up the numbers, you're waiting for the numbers, and then if there's a jump off, that you're being competitive and you're looking and sharp and awake and quick in your brain. And that's really important, and you have to become aware of that. Different riders, would be warming up and they might be just out of focus, and I could ask them, are you going to bring low energy or high energy? You're going to be off, you're going to be on, and are you going to not fight for it or fight for it? You have to fight, you have to get in there, you have to take on that course, and that's your internal warrior. And that's so important to tap into that, like to switch it on, switch it on, switch it on. Otherwise, you're going to come out disappointed. You won't get up in the pace, and you're too slow, and you're not quick enough, and you'll be disappointed. And the more you can switch on this internal warrior, the more faster you're going to connect to the course, the more you're going to be committed, the more you're going to really work for it. There was a rider this morning that sent me, and she's only jumping at her level, it's her Grand Prix, and it's a course that at her level, it's it's a decent course for her, but I know that by the second fence, she wasn't really switched on, and then she had to realize she had to fight for it. Something didn't go too wrong, and she switched on that button. That switch went on, and she just rode with that internal warrior fight. But she hadn't for the first two fences, and that was her learning, that she didn't have it in the beginning. So this is important as a rider, and I know that you understand this, but it's important to recognize this tool and use it.
So how do you find that balance? Because in one way you're trying to switch off and be calm yourself and not overthink, and the same maybe for the horse, they feel your energy. So how do you kind of get someone to, or get your horse and yourself to a place where you're very calm, but focused calm, and then boom, go?
Great question, Connor. Well, it comes back to being relaxed in our heart, being calm, being certain, but being sharp and quick in the brain.
Okay.
Sharp and quick in the brain, alert, and looking early. Being calm here, it's like slow motion, but your brain is looking, and you're sharp and you're noticing everything. But internally, in your heart and your horse's heart, you're relaxed. But you, as the rider's brain, mind, head, you're alert and you're sharp and you're creating it.
But it's not like the way you're describing it. It's not like that kind of out of control energy. It's the fight or flight. Like that type of. It's a more focused, calmer energy.
Yeah, 100%. It's calculated. It's focused. It's concentrated. It's on.
Okay. So how do you kind of, in practical terms, how do you do that then? How do you switch that on? Like, I'm sure when you're coming into on show day, you're nervous. There's that nervous energy. You're trying to stay calm. How do you get into that zone?
Well, like a really good example, on Sunday I was at the show, and there's a rider that was back. I met him at one of the games, and he said to me, he was ready and he was excited. Lovely rider and a lovely person. And but I could see in just reading his energy that he was all excited, and and he was saying he was looking forward. He just wanted a smooth, calm round. And so I chatted to him a bit, but I could feel in his heart like he was anxious. He's a lovely guy, but it's my job to read energy. And I said, can I do a little bit of meditation? And he said, of course. So I knew the areas he's always working on. Those riders always working on some parts of the brain, but I knew them, and I did 3 quick, asked him to close his eyes and relax into his body and his heart, and I brought him through then his mind, what his mind was going to do, and I brought him through his process and what he was going to do in the warm-up and in the ring, and so that he was so ready. And it only took maybe, I didn't count it, but maybe less than a minute. And then I asked him out of 10, where was he? And I knew he wasn't 10 out of 10, and he went up maybe to 8. And then I did another one again, probably 50 seconds, and then another one. And then I could feel his heart relaxing. I could feel him relax. And then the final one, he was probably 9-ish. And then I knew he was 10 out of 10. But again, I'd say the whole process didn't take me 2 minutes, 3 minutes max. And then I just gave him a fist pump, and out he went. And I happened to watch the class, and he won it. He won it so easily. Now, if you saw him winning it, you could see he was relaxed but sharp. He was looking, and he was just looking and quick, and he was taking turns. He was like he was in slow motion. The reason being, Connor, is that he was relaxed here, but his brain was switched on. His brain was locked on. Does that make sense? Because you can have all the tools and techniques, but if you're not calm inside, and again, horses feel everything, as you said in a previous podcast, that it's 6-7 feet, the horses feel that vibration, and the calmer you are, and the horse was so relaxed and so calm, but his brain was sharp, his brain was on, like his warrior brain was looking for the next, and he did it at such ease. So I hope that answers the question.
No, that's good. I just want to come back to something sometimes it's a bit confusing. People talk about male or female energy, and people go, oh, but like, I'm a man, I don't have female energy, or I'm a woman, I don't have male energy. But it's not about who you are as a gender. It's more from my understanding of it anyway, is female energy is very nurturing, very flowy, very relaxed, very kind of soft focus, whereas male energy is leading, very directed. It's like that hunter kind of
Gatherer,
lock on to the hunt and focused, like
yeah.
leading.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what you have to take leadership in the ring. You have to be committed to your distances. You have to fight for the distances. If you're running deep and if you're, you have to connect earlier, you have to be sharp and lots of riders say, I left it too late, but that's, if you're really on it, you notice everything in advance and you're creating it in advance. And of course, you're dealing with a horse's stride, whether he lands short and if he lands and jumps to the right or you have to be so quick to react. And you just have to have that sharp, quick, smart brain, but still relaxed here, not anxious, sharp up here, zero anxiousness, but certainty, as we talked in the last episode.
Any other examples where you've seen people bring that
Oh,
focused masculine energy? You see it all the time, but
I
like
have so many times, Connor, at the ring, and girls when they're just warming up and they really have to flip that switch, and I can, trying to get them to, to honor their focus and step into that masculine energy, like that warrior, that internal warrior. Are you going to fight for it? Have you got it? Like, are you on it? Like, are you, and asking those questions, it makes them aware that that's important, and they know it. But in the moment, there's just so much because you're producing the horse, you're getting the horse relaxed in the warm up, but you need to be able to flip that switch at the end gate.
So on just what's coming to mind, is there ever an instance where you see this too much kind of
Oh yeah,
go the other extreme?
Yeah,
too
okay. Well,
aggressive
that's male. A lot of men can push it too hard and be too aggressive and said, I should have taken a pull it there, like I went for it too much. So that is the opposite. That's the extreme. When they just go for it and they're just a little bit like that was just was too much. Some of
too much aggression or
too much aggression. Yeah, too much of a winner. Too much. Some men are just, born winners and they just want to win and they forget that there is, you have to nurture the horse too and you have to be patient and there's a balance there. And sometimes riders will say, I have to learn this balance, like I need to rein it in a bit. I need to just take a moment. I need to keep the mixture, there's a fine line of both and I must, honor that line.
Kind of a sweet spot or his own.
Yeah,
it isn't pushing it too far, but it's not too soft.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a very good point about the male. You can be too masculine, and so you need to get that in. Yeah, that's.
Well, I think sometimes if you go there, you kind of you probably disconnect from the horse a little bit.
Oh, completely. You want to win too much. Yeah, there was a rider in the summertime. He was telling me that he wanted to win everything and he to learn. First of all, as we're chatting, like he said, remind me that it's not all about winning. It's about production and producing, and I need to just take a breath and I need to be patient. I said that winning spirit is there. That muscle is built. Don't have to worry about that part. And his awareness to know that, and working in mantras to help him to do that, and meditations to settle him down to be present and to be more in the moment.
Very good. Okay, well, as always, you always do a meditation, and maybe you might bring us into a meditation to kind of hit that sweet spot of that inner warrior, but that focus, calm on
Exactly.
warrior.
Good man, Conor. Thank you. Okay, everybody, I hope you enjoy this and remembering how important it is to be able to connect with this inner warrior. So beginning, we're going to take the calm breaths to connect with your body, to connect with the calm energy, and I'll talk through it and bring that inner warrior out towards the end. So relaxing and breathing into your body. Give yourself permission to breathe into your healthy, strong body and know that as you breathe in, your cells listen that you're strong and healthy and calm and relaxed. Remembering we become the stories we tell ourselves, so all positive, good language into your body. Relaxing your shoulders, your right shoulder, your left shoulder. Breathing into your heart, relaxing your heart. Breathing into your upper back, your lower back. Breathing into relaxing energy into your neck. Relaxing energy into your right foot, left foot. Feeling this calm energy in your right toes, right hands, right fingers, left fingers. Feeling your face relax, back of your neck relax, your upper shoulders, your lower shoulders. Feeling that energy of peace, calm energy, relaxed in your heart. Knowing that your horses feel this relaxed energy. They feel connected, they feel a one heart-to-heart connection. And their brain is waiting to be led by your brain. Their mind, their head is being waiting to be led by your mind, your head. That you're in this mind of sharpness, of awareness, and the course plan that you know there's a plan there, and you're being challenged by the course designer on each number and each rollback and each fence and each position of each fence. And you know that your internal warrior will find a way to ride this course, the first course, second course, how to ride it, how to feel it, how to connect with it, how to know how to be in the right place at the right time. As you walk that course and pay attention to detail, walk the lines you're going to ride. Definitely walking it more than once. The more time you have on it, the better. And knowing the numbers and knowing your horse and knowing the stride of your horse and what options you're going to take, making those decisions. As you lean into your calm, relaxed body, know that you're going to flip that switch. You're going to have that switch ready. You're going to know how to train your brain to turn on that switch. Your internal warrior is going to step up. Your energy, masculine energy, is going to go in there and get up in that rhythm and take on the challenge of that course. From that first fence to the last fence, you're going to get up in that rhythm and you're going to take up in that pace, up in that canter, and you're going to have your plan in your mind, and you're going to fight and ride to that plan as best you can. If you have to go to plan B, you fight for plan B and you get back fighting for plan A again. The second you land, you're looking for the next, you're moving your head, you're keeping your body straight, and you're looking for the next jump and the next jump. And that you're on it, you're so focused that the switch is being flipped. You flipped that switch. You heard that buzzer and you reined back your horse and you got up into that zone where you just know what to do, when to do, how to do it. You've got the switch on. You're not off, you're completely on. You're on it. And this internal warrior, this awareness of that, this how important this is, whatever level it's at, that you've got this. You're focused and you're on it from the first fence to the last fence. From 1 to 2, 2 to 3, feeling this energy, feeling this internal warrior step up within you, feeling this winner, this winning, fighting warrior that you are, that you need to lead your horse. Each animal too, from that first fence to the last fence, to ride forward, forward, forward with confidence and pace and courage and smartness and awareness and committed and focused. Concentrated, 4, 5, 6, 7, double this feeling, triple this feeling, 8, 9, and 10. It's yours. This is your new tool, your internal warrior, that you flip that switch and turn it on. Good job. Well done. Thank you.
Thank you again, Jim. So next week we're going to focus on the letter F, and that's for the fear of going first in the class.